Right, welcome everybody to the Track Stars Touring Cars Top Stick Shootout of the High Speed Ring 500. First up on track, we have NSPUD P666. I'm not streaming, it's racing is streaming, so he'll be taking the reins. So, luckily for all of you guys and girls watching out there, we have a guest commentator in the commentary box, and I'll leave him to do some self-introduction. Hello, good sir.
Hello, it's me. It's not Neil, it's the other British dude. I'm happy to be alongside you for this one. DJ, exciting to see some of the familiar faces in this top 6 shootout and the high speed ring. I did a few miles of this when Gran Turismo 7 came out, fueled on Red Bull and nostalgia. And I'm sure many of us were excited to see the circuit included. A circuit where I'd suggest, even though it's quite a simple layout, it's also very easy to lose a second without trying very hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. With my testing, you can lose a chronic amount of time overall in such a small space. So it's going to be a very interesting one for these drivers as Spud starts his first flying lap for the commencement of the top 6 shootout.
I haven't driven Group 2s around here, I must admit, and that speed carry through the last corner was very impressive, right up against the Armco for NSPUD as he heads into turn 2. Looks like he's wall riding, not sure if that's the case or not, but very quick through turn 2. You've got to be out wide through there to make the most of the progressive banking through the S-bend, turn 3 and turn 4. Then under the tunnel they go towards the last couple of corners. Is this looking like a good lap to you, DJ?
It was looking like a good lap, but unfortunately picked up some re-aero damage through turn 2, so he committed a little bit too much through there. It is very hard on a controller to keep a lot of speed through there, but so far looking is going to be a low 57, high 57, low 58, so 57.694 there for NSPUD, so it's a little bit off the pace of what we've seen in qualifying, but is pretty solid starting lap there.
Did he pull the handbrake at the end? Because he's ended up with with engine damage there as well. Spud's obviously, funny enough, he was just telling us a few moments ago that he'd got himself into the 66s and then went, oh hardy ha, wait until I get 57.5 in the shootout. Well, it was actually a bit worse than he thought, a 57.6 for Spud. Here comes Ridwan then, he is next up. And Ridwan in the rather fetching looking GTR. Of course, if you're new to the Track Stars touring cars, in the main category you've got those bigger wings on the back deck, and I understand there's a bit more than just aesthetics to that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of dirty air and less downforce actually than the standard wings, so it's not ideal, but it's as best we can, and they're very, very nice to drive when you do get them gripped up. So
it's very disappointing. We've got a lot more modification in GT7, but limited ways to use it, including, let's say, the lack of ability to look at weight and power in the lobby. Hint, hint, Kaz, if you're listening. Out onto the main straight comes Ridwan for his lap for the satellite team. Let's see what kind of time he can put in. Benchmark is a 57.6. I think if he has a clean lap, that should be beatable. Takes a low line there through turn 1. I was of the opinion that wasn't the favoured line.
There's a couple of ways you can go through there. Oh, he picks up damage here through turn 2. That's front aero, so that may hinder him. Oh, he doesn't go purple, so he's definitely on track for a high 57 here, unfortunately.
Yeah, with front end damage, I think is probably worse than getting rear end, isn't it? Particularly when you've got those two S-bend corners coming up, you need to rely on your front aero there, where there isn't particularly much in the way of camber to guide you around the corner. Last turn, he's well under 290 Ks at the apex there. That is not going to be the best wrap of his life for sure. And is it better? Yes, it is. Is it? Yes, 57. No. Oh no, 696.
0.004.
Oh, goodness me. So very, very close indeed. The picture is a bit too pixely for me to fully be able to read what's coming up on screen, but Ridwan was very, very close indeed. I didn't think he had it. I didn't expect him to be quite so close to Spud.
Yeah, that's 0.004 there. He's actually something that was familiarly seen through qualifying, because Speedy Tyres actually beat me in qualifying 1 by 0.002. Yeah, so it's very close.
Yeah, it's
very
a track
close.
of fine margins, isn't it? Particularly in these cars where you're doing it in under a minute. And here we have John 27 TCT out on circuit next, and a driver that's been with us for a while, a driver that would love to be up there at the sharp end. Based on what we're seeing so far, pushing to the very limit might not be the strategy. It seems as though just staying out of the Armco might be favourable in this top 6 shootout.
Yeah, I think the FR cars aren't exactly favourable through turn 2 as watch the MR cars, so hopefully John can keep it out. But you probably know, running this in as GT7 came out, the closer you run to that Armco, you can hold more speed, but there's also obviously the risk of hitting the wall. So it's definitely going to be a lot interesting when obviously Speedy, Matt and Brocky come out, because they are some pretty quick guys. So we'll wait and see what he does here.
I think I did about 1,000
he
laps
hits the
of
wall
it.
as well.
Bad run, isn't it? And he's got damage himself, and that was probably the most compromised run through turn 2 that we've seen so far.
Yeah, it looks like it corrected itself through the final stage of that turn 2, so it spat him into the wall. It's a bit unfortunate, but you got to keep 100% for the rest of the lap, even though you did get that damage. Don't let it bring you down, because who knows, you might even be up the front. So we'll wait and see what he does across the line here.
I'd be surprised if this one beats either of the times we've seen before. And does it? No?
No. 57.966, so it's about 0.3 off the pace.
There you go. So not quite what we're expecting out of John on that occasion, but we've still got some quick drivers to come.
Yeah, obviously you would know yourself, Matt here. I don't know how familiar you are with Rocky, but he's been showing some pretty phenomenal pace so far in this series.
So here comes Speedy Tyres. I am in love with this satellite livery. It's very good. I've seen some pictures of it, but it looks even better out on the circuit, on the move. And we have Speedy Tyres up next then. Speedy Tyres scouting out this second corner that's proven to be the main talking point so far in this top 6 session. One shot, it is the shootout session. They haven't got many opportunities to make mistakes. They haven't got any opportunities to do a second flying lap. Will we see anyone get below a 57? Certainly we've seen Matt do it, we've seen Spud do it in the few minutes before we went live here in this session. Let's see what Speedy can do now as he sets himself up around the final corner.
Yeah, those satellite cars are looking really nice, but it looks like he took a different approach here. A lot of the other guys were warming up their tyres, you know, doing some weaving left and right. Speedy just sent it out of the pits, so maybe that might be a bit of a different warm-up, but we'll definitely wait and see what turn 2 has in store for Speedy.
Here comes then the all-important second corner. Brace, 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 everyone having their fingers firmly crossed. Oh, he does brush the barrier, but I don't think he's got any damage from it. No damage indicated, so by default almost he's got the purple in sector 1. Sets himself up nicely for 3 and 4. We'll take a late apex to launch out into the tunnel section of the circuit, and he's tried too hard to put the power down, and that is the heaviest hit we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It looks like he just got on the power, the turbo kicked in, because these things have a high RPM turbo, and it just snapped on him. So very unfortunate there for Speedy, considering he did put that in a pretty good position, and his teammate in Captain Risky. So a bit unfortunate, but I guess that's the pressure of the top 6 shootout.
Certainly is. We haven't seen anyone have a fully clean lap so far. We're already 4 down. And well, it could be easy pickings for the likes of Mint Matt. We'll have to wait and see, though. He is not who we have next out on circuit, though.
Yeah, we've got Brockio5 here. He's in the Snow Store CP Motorsports car. Originally piloted by Diswood for the season so far. So he's got a very strong pairing in Brocky and Diswood. So they're going to be a very a team to watch out for come Sunday or come tomorrow's race. So it's going to be a pretty interesting one, I think.
I think you're quite right there. Again, seems to be taking the balls to the wall as soon as you leave the pit approach, doesn't he, Brocky05? None of this weaving or tyre warm-up nonsense. Let's see what the car can do from the word go. The pink and purple of this Honda NSX heading now through the tunnel section, which is so easy to get wrong, as we saw quite handily, unfortunately, just a few moments ago. Let's see, though, if Brocky can be the first into the 56s. As you said, he's been great so far this season. Anyone who gets into the top 6 shootout has clearly earned their mettle here at the high speed ring. Let's see how this run through turn 2 goes. Now through the first corner. Turn 2, though, the critical place.
Yeah, he's carrying a lot of speed through that last corner and into turn 1, but we'll see how he goes through here. Oh, he gets damage as well. He's got front aero damage. Well, he's up by a considerable amount, though. So at the moment, he's on for a P1 provisional, but that turn 2 wall, that's definitely catching out a lot of drivers so far.
I'm wondering if Matt's sitting there with a wry smile thinking he's got this in the bag, or whether he's worried that he's going to do what pretty much everyone else has done already in this session. However, it does look like we may have a new benchmark on our hands through the last corner. On board with Brocky now. He heads towards the start-finish line, and the time is surely going to be well into the low 57s.
Yeah, that's a 57.1 there, so that's a very good time considering he had damage. And if he didn't have damage, I would have really liked to have seen what kind of time he would have put on there. But I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit nervous here for Matt, but I've got full faith in him. So it's going to be best of luck to Matt in the number 16. So we are having a bit of a number change for this weekend because Jarman's actually racing. So he's piloting the 95 and we've taken a number 16 for me for this weekend.
There you go. So some slight changes, but we've got one of the quickest drivers in Gran Turismo now set up for his flying lap. Of course, everyone knows Matt's story. Matt Simmons, GT Academy graduate from many years ago. I remember meeting him in his first proper race this weekend. Commentated on him in Gran Turismo way back in the GT6 days as well. He has been a leading light of the Australian Gran Turismo scene for as long as there really has been an Australian Gran Turismo scene. And let's see if he can keep that car out of the fence at turn 2, keep the car on the straight and narrow in general. Is this going to be a pole position lap? DJ, I can feel the tension from here, mate.
I don't know about you, but my hands are shaking and I'm not even in the car. So it's going to be very interesting.
The shootout.
Definitely. So I'm going to be on my toes for this one.
Yes, here we go then. You see the virtual head bobbling away as he goes through turn 1. Turn 2 comes up next. Is it going to be a clean run through the corner? No damage. That surely has to be purple through turn 2 and through the first sector. Here comes Matt now through 3 and 4. Tap of the brakes there. Quite a wide run through T3. He'll go wide into T4 to try and get to that apex out of the corner. Didn't even really challenge the curb, but carried good speed. That's what's so important around here. He's up. He's purple at the moment. Around the final corner comes Mint Matt. Let's see what Matty can do out of the final turn. It's going to surely be in the 56s, looking at how this lap has gone so far. Yes, it is. Matt puts it top.
Yes, let's go. Come on, Matt. Oh, mate.
Is that a 56.781?
Yeah, that's a 56.781. That's... Yeah, I think really what saved him there is that turn 2. That's mate, those laps there from those boys. That's phenomenal. That's incredible. So Wow.
I can hear your voice. You're flustered by that one in all the best ways. Mint Matt has done it there. What a great time from Matt. I'm super interested to see how a pack of Group 2 cars handles that turn 2, not just on the first lap, but all throughout the race in the High Speed Ring 500. It's going to be tricky, isn't it? And it's going to be a talking point. I think those that keep it out of the wall while retaining decent speed are probably going to be on for a victory just by keeping out of the pit lane.
Yeah. So far, we've noticed that it's going to be a lot hard. Like whether or not, like with damage and safety cars and stuff like that, and where you kind of really essentially need to be in regards to the final stint. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race considering that turn 2, and also with the weather as well. So we'll have wind and fuel burn too. So the cars are going to handle a little bit differently.
And so the post-shootout festivities already ongoing. But Matt has secured pole position for the High Speed Ring 500, and the order's now changed, but I believe it was Brocky, wasn't it, second?
Yeah, they just need to go through Sector 1. So they've gone through Sector 1 now, so they're all in their starting order now. So
interesting. So an all-Honda front row, Spud and Ridwan on row 2. We'll see what Spud can do from P3. I'm sure that when he went out there first and made a bit of a Horlicks of his run through turn 2, he thought he might be on the back row of the grid, but third place, I'm sure, better than he was expecting when he was on his cooldown.
Yeah, well, with Spud, he actually came into the shootout in 6th, so he's actually gained 3 positions for that one. So I'm pretty sure he'd be pretty happy with that one, and also the only Lexus in the top 6.
Yeah, John 27, TCT and Speedy Tyres rounding out our top 6 then. Order has changed somewhat. I think everyone expected great things from Matt. That gives you a lot of pressure to deliver, and deliver he has.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very interesting race, considering like with drivers and where they're going to be tomorrow. So we don't know who's starting and stuff like that. So I guess we'll work that out on the debrief and see how we go. But it's going to be a very interesting race with safety cars and the track and everything combined. So
there you go. Well, I'm excited to see what goes on in the 500 itself. Pretty sure I can't do the full thing with you guys, but I'm sure I could be involved in some capacity. But there we go. We have the important stat, and that's that Mint Matt has once again scored a pole position within the Trackstars Touring Cars Enduros, and he will be leading from the front. At least the team will be leading from the front. However, I think it's going to be very competitive over the course of the 500. I would strap in tight for that one. It's going to be very exciting stuff.
yeah, it's we've got 3 stints, so we are running a different way now with the whole way that we're going to work it. So it's going to be a short first stint, and then it'll be a medium second, and then a long third. So race 1 will be 19 laps, race 2 will be 38, and race 3 will be 58. So it's definitely going to be an interesting, with minimum laps also being 38 laps. So that's also going to come into play, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit like NASCAR's stage racing concept, but across a couple of different drivers. It should be exciting stuff, I'm sure of that. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens across those 3 stints. We'll have to see what strategies are in play come tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, I suppose, for you guys. For me, it would very much be tomorrow morning.
Yeah, well, the race starts at 1:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, because we actually do go into daylight savings. But until then, I do thank you very much for joining me in the comm box here. It was a pleasure listening to you do your magical work and in the flesh. But yeah, I guess until then, that is our Trackstars Top 6 shootout for the High Speed Ring 500, with Mint Matt in first, Brocky 05 in second, and Spud in third. Ridwan in 4th, John 27 TCT in 5th, and Speedy Tyres rounding out the top 6 with that unfortunate engine damage. But until then, until tomorrow, both myself, Ryan, Adam, and also Jarman, who's streaming, we thank you all for joining, and we shall catch you all tomorrow live on YouTube.